Okay, welcome to the application website itself. So, first thing, all the links you will need for this application will be made available in this video's description. So, do well to visit the description, pull out all these links that will lead you to the various parts of this website and do apply. So the very first thing you need to do, I would like to indulge you to follow me closely, follow my cursor, and I will try to make this as simple as possible. So you first of all type in this website known as the Moosejaw Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. So Moosejaw RNIP.ca. So this will be the landing page where it will bring you in. So here you see about applicants, employers, newcomers, and things like that. Now, if you scroll down, you're gonna see this place where it says intake schedule. Intake schedule. So if you click on that intake schedule, you will see when and how this immigration pathway um, receive applications. So you're gonna see that in 2024 that they started receiving application on Wednesday, January 17 at 12 a.m. And this is gonna stop Wednesday, January 31st at 11:59 p.m. So you barely have about 5 days from when I'm making this video to submit this application. Good thing is that it's pretty simple and it's quite straightforward. So that is about the intake period. So if you don't meet this time, based on what you see here in 2023, that they started one around May, maybe who knows, they might be able to do something before the year runs out again. So this video is actually um, valuable for you just in case you don't have the necessary document required to apply at this time. Still watch, still understand, still study this video and get these documents ready for maybe around May if they open another intake period. Okay, now for those who might desire to apply, so you go to this tab where you see applicants. This one called employers are for employers looking for people to employ. So as an applicant, you simply click on applicants. Okay, so it's going to bring you to this page where you have the same tab as about applicants, employers, newcomers, and contact. So what you need to do, you're an applicant and also a job seeker because you also need a job from this province, from this community, I should call it, not even more of a province, it's a community, okay, in the northern territories of Canada, known as the Moosejaw. Okay, so I'll also show you the job opportunities available and how you can apply to those jobs. And because those jobs have been certified by this community, they are willing to employ you as quickly as possible, give you the necessary document, which I'll also show you the document they will need to fill to certify that you have a job with this employer ABC. So stay with me on this as we quickly run through how to apply. Okay, now applicants, definitely one is you might be or you are currently a temporary resident employed and living in Moosejaw. If that is your case, what you simply need to do is to ask your employer to contact the program coordinator to begin the process. Okay, then you follow steps 3 to 9 below. So we're going to show that from A to Z, from step 1 to 9. Now, if you do not live or work in Moosejaw, what do you do? you follow all the steps, all the 9 steps that we are going to go through in this video. Now, thirdly, you are a recent graduate from a 2-year program at Saskatchewan Polytechnic in Moosejaw. You have to follow the 9 steps, follow all the steps. Okay. Now, how do you apply? Number one step is to find a job in Moosejaw. I'm going to show you where to find these jobs. Okay. Now, two is you undergo the employer screening process. They might call you for an interview, which is expected. Now, in the era of all the virtual platforms, you could be scheduled for interview over, Zoom or Teams or Google Meet or what have you, whichever one the employer uses. They will interview you, so you should get ready for that. Now, you also be required to get a reference check, okay? Because your work experience will also be verified. That can easily be obtained. So, step 3, you will receive a qualifying job offer from the employer on this particular form. Okay, so if I click on this form, that is the form that you and your employer need to work together to complete. Okay, so what does this form look like? So let's try to open up this form. Oh, wait a minute, I will show you this form at the end because I need to download and open and stuff like that. Okay, so I will show you this form at the end of all these 9 steps. Okay, now you fill the form together with your employer. It's a pretty simple form, few pages, I think about 2 or 3 pages, and your employer will sign and you also sign, and you attach that to your what application. It's as simple as that. You need to also complete the IRCC form 5911 and this application form. Gather all the required documents indicated on the checklist. This is, I will show you the checklist as well as we move along in this video. Now, simply submit your completed application package to this email, info@moisturerNIP.ca. Now, the program coordinator will assess your eligibility using the federal eligibility, because even if they nominate you as part of this program, you still need to approach IRCC for permanent residency. The only thing is that you will not go into the pool and things like that. You'll be considered under the rural northern immigration pathway. Okay, so you still need to meet the eligibility criteria for the federal government, which the program coordinator will assess, and equally the community criteria points as well. Okay, now check the intake period schedule. That's why I said you must submit his application not later than the 31st of January 2024. Okay, anything after that will not be considered. Now, for your application to be complete, you need to have this offer letter on this form, which I will show you guys. Now, this is the second form called the Schedule 1. Then you have the application form itself, then other supporting documents. What are these? If you have your language test, you have your degree, you have your reference letters, things like that. All these things on this checklist, attach them and email it to that email address, okay, which is simply info@mosejaw.rnip.ca. Okay, I also put this email address in the in the video description below. Now, eligible candidates will simply be contacted for an interview to confirm your intention to reside in this community. Now, the thing is this: even if you don't intend to reside for a long time in that community is okay, it's good and fine. People decide to, change their minds and move to other locations. But for this program, you must convince them of your intention to stay. So how do you do that? You simply need to tell them about their culture, their people, and things like that. Okay? How you love the serenity of the community, because this is actually a small community in the rural part of Canada. Okay? You could also talk about you having friends that will help you to integrate in the society. Okay? These are the things you need to tell them to be able to convince them of your intention, to stay and reside in the community so that they will nominate you for the program. That is all that you need. Okay, so the candidates that are deemed ineligible will be informed. So whether you were selected or not, they will still reach back to you. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, after the interview, okay, the selection committee will make their final decision on your application, and this is three options. Either you are approved, or you are placed on hold, or you are declined. Now, if you are placed on hold, they will keep considering you up to 6 months after that application. Okay? Then after 6 months, you will no longer be considered, but hey, you can still reapply if you want to. Okay? Now that means if you don't make it this time, whenever they have the intake period open, you can still do what? Reapply. Okay? Now, step number 8, the program coordinator will notify the selection committee of their decision. Then successful candidates will receive the RNIP community recommendation form. Now, this form is valid for 6 months, okay, which is required for you to make a permanent residency application. Remember, that's what I said. You still need to approach the IRCC with this nomination form or recommendation form, as they call it in this community, to make formal application for your permanent residency in Moosejaw. Okay? All right. So you have to submit your permanent residency application via the official website of the IRCC. And once you have submitted that application, hey, that's another good part of this. Once you submitted your application, you can even apply for a work permit. Before they complete that process, you can use your work permit when approved to move to the community and start working and wait for the completion of your permanent residency. Okay? And this covers your family as well, as you can see in point number 11. You and your family can begin life in Moosejaw once your temporary work permit or your permanent residency application is approved, whichever comes first. So you don't necessarily need to wait for one before the other one. No. Submit your application, apply for temporary work permit. If it comes out before your PR, you jump on the next plane with your family, settle in Moosejaw and start working. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Amazing stuff. Are you as excited as I am? So if yes, come on, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. It might be helpful to someone out there. Okay, so take a moment and do that. I'll give you like 5 seconds. Thank you as you do that as well. Okay, now once this is done, you wait for a decision, like I said. So to complete the IM forms, you follow the IRCC's instruction guide. You will find it is called step 2, complete the application, on the IRCC website. I also try to put in the link to that website in the comment in the video's description below. Okay, now how do we get these jobs? Okay, now if we go back to the top where you see applicants, if you click the drop down button, you will see job offers. Does that make sense? Go to applicants, click on job offers. So if I click on that, it will simply open to job opportunities. Now, these are employment opportunities in this community in Moosejaw in Saskatchewan through the RNIP. So here they're even telling you you can browse through the list of available positions below, and at the bottom of each listing you will find direction for how to apply. So this is pretty simple, straightforward. Now take for example, these are current opportunities that are available and these are the companies. Okay, so let's say I'm interested. Here you have the carpenter, construction laborer, front desk agent, room attendant, blah blah blah, a whole lot of them. Okay, let me say I'm a marketing specialist. I will see where my cursor is. I'll simply click on this. It's gonna open. Business name. This is the name. So this is the job NOC. Okay, so it's in tier one. Number of vacancies is one, and you're expected to work full-time permanent, not part-time, full-time, which is normally 30 to 40 hours per week. Okay, so the salary range is $20 to $25 per hour, and this is what you're expected to do. Qualification: at least 1 year of marketing role, degree, bachelor's or college diploma, blah 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 blah. Now, contact name and email for resume and cover letter submissions to apply. So this is now how to apply. Okay, please submit your resume and a cover letter detailing your relevant experience and qualification too. So simply have your resume, have a cover letter, and you email it to this. So one tip I will give you now is on the subject of your email, please make sure you quote this position. Okay, I repeat, on the subject, because when you open your email, you have subject, right? That is the title of your email. Make sure you quote this. Okay, and in your resume, save your resume with your first name, last name, underscore the position. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Okay, so these are the tips now to for you to have a Canadian style resume. This is another tip. If you are submitting a resume more than 2 pages, you are wasting your time because the experience is simply 1 year. In 1 year, you're not expected to have a resume that is more than 2 pages. Even a year experience can be fixed into 1 page. So make sure that your resume is Canadian style resume, not more than 2 pages. Okay? So if you need help to craft that cover letter, that catchy cover letter and resume, we are here to assist you with that. Just hit me up and tell me that you need those services, okay, to get this. So that is simply how to apply to this particular role, okay. Now down here you also see if I'm interested in the role called administrative assistant. I'll simply click on it. Okay, it's still in Moosejaw. What is the business? Food specialty store, one vacancy. Okay, the rate is $15. Okay, with overtime it's gonna get up to 22.5. So what's your responsibility? Simply answer telephone, set up and maintain manual and computerized information, blah blah blah. How do you apply? Resume and cover letter to this email address. So guys, it's pretty simple. Get any of this role that you feel that you have experience. Even if you don't have experience, maybe you have a related experience. There's what you call the transferable skills. Okay, you can craft your resume to speak to these roles and apply. Who knows, you might be on your way, to receiving that confirmation letter and subsequently applying for permanent residency through this pathway. Okay, so this is how to get that job. And once you get that job offer, you go ahead and verify that you have all the necessary documents required. Okay, remember by clicking on the job list, by clicking on the document checklist that we saw before. So when you click on that, let's go back a little bit more. When you click on that job, when you click on the checklist, which is here very well at number 4, you will see the Moosejaw RNIP document checklist. Once you click that, it's going to open and it will be looking something like this, where you have the candidate form. Now, this is a list that will help you to be on track, to verify that you have actually obtained all that is required to apply to this role. So print out this list, keep it by your side, and whichever one you do, you check it off. Okay, so you need to have the application form, you need to have the Schedule 1, the offer of employment to a foreign national. Of course, you should have your passport, but it will shock you that some individuals still they don't have a passport, but they desire to travel. Now, if you have your IELTS and you've assessed your degree to show that it's equivalent to Canadian degree or diploma, proof of a work experience reference letter. Okay, these ones are optional if applicable and all that. So you don't necessarily need to put these. But if you put them, for example, if your spouse also has IELTS, you can as well put that in here to boost your sellability, okay, or your points as well. So that is all about this pathway and things you need to do. Now, I promise to show you guys that form. Okay, so quickly let me show you that particular form. Remember we made that 5911 form. Okay, so give me a minute and I will be right back. See you. All right, welcome back, guys. So this is the form I talked about, IMM 5911E, Schedule 1, the Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. So in here, you see where my cursor is. It says all rural and northern immigration pilot program principal applicants must complete this form. So you must complete this form. So section 1 of the form talks about the applicant information, family name as shown on your passport or your travel document. Remember that. Now the passport number and other details, okay? Down to your state, country, postal code. Section 2, offer of employment, where you document your employer's name, telephone number, their address, down to even your job title over here, the main duties of the job, the NOC classification. Now is the job offer for an indeterminate duration of employment with no end, meaning permanent, I should say. Now describe how you found this job. Simply say the Moosejaw RNIP website. Did you meet the employer prior to being offered? Maybe yes in person, but if you are an international, say yes remotely. But if no interview, no meeting, say no. Language proficiency result, talking about your CELP or your IELTS. So you have to name the exam. When did you take it? Date of test results, date of test taken, the results, speaking, reading, listening, writing, putting your scores. Now, 4 talks about work experience from when to when. Okay, the province, your job title, main duties. Now, employment reference name, because you need, remember, one of the documents there is your reference letter from your employer. Okay, your education, if you have a master's, you tick that. If you have other things, you can tick as well. Name of the school, city, down to the country and the postal code over here. Was he obtained outside of Canada? Yes or no? Okay. Now, when did you assess it? Education Credential Assessment. That is the meaning of ECA. Popularly, we use West. Okay, put in your West. The date, type it in. The number, put that in there. If it's, this is my example. If it's 5 6, whatever, type it in there. Okay. Now, settlement funds. Now, about these settlement funds, once you have an employment, you don't need to show evidence of having a settlement fund, but they require to say that you are aware. Okay, so tick off yes in here. Then you put your signature and you date this guy. Then you save, save your print form. Attach it as a PDF to that other documents and email to the email address. Is as simple as that. Okay. Now the second form is the one called the 5984E, the offer of employment to a foreign national. So your employer will give you this form, fill in his details here. They don't have much to do with this. Then lastly, there's one place they need you to, acknowledge that you have read this, because this is like what you're entitled to. Even your benefits, the amount per hour, you see number 27, wage in Canadian dollars, number of works per week. So they need you to know or to certify that you have read this document. Okay. Now your employer will fill in this part for you. Then you declare. Sorry, the employer will declare. Okay. Then finally, your employee, also declare that you confirm, you've read, you've understood the contents of this form and all that. Then check off all this as appropriate. Anyone you agree to, if you disagree with anyone, don't check it out. But I mean, you should agree to all of them. Put in your name, put in your signature, date this guy, then save as PDF attached to that form as well. Make sure using the document checklist I showed you that all your documents are intact, and voila, pray that you are chosen and you will be on your way to Moosejaw, maybe as a permanent resident or having your work permit while you wait for your permanent, residency. Okay, guys, that is the end and all you need to know. Thorough, well explained with valuable tips on the Rural Northern Migration Pilot Program, Moosejaw, a small community here in Canada. Okay, so I believe you found this video helpful. Okay, so spend 5 seconds, subscribe to this channel, share this video. You never can tell the life you are saving out there. Thank you. Turn on the notification bell to keep you on the know when we share time-bound informations like this. And as usual, I will see you in yet another one.